All right, high spots and low shots. And I gotta say, my low shot. Who am I gonna pick here? I'm gonna say that my low shot is PTP, believe it or not, because
Oh,
they did commentary and they just seem so out of place in this whole thing. Like they're the champions and they seem like the most out of place people and whatever is going on right now. They just did commentary. They didn't really do anything to stand out with the hodgepodge of teams that were showcased tonight. Really having a pretty weak reign that isn't even their fault. I don't even mean that to be caustic towards them. So yeah, I'd have to say PTP. They're just kind of my low shot because they were just kind of there tonight. So yeah.
yeah, I feel you.
Who's your low shot?
My low shot, let's see. Yeah, I almost want to make it bad news Barrett, but he did technically win, so I probably shouldn't. I think, you know what? I think I'm just gonna make my low shot the Bella Twins because they try, they really do. They even try to stay over as faces, and not only should it not work, but it seems like it doesn't really work that well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The Bellas work so hard, they even do work that's entirely unnecessary.
Yeah,
So, there you go.
yeah.
You know what? I don't know if I've ever done this on 12 Hour. If I do, I probably do it very rarely. But I'm gonna take a different approach to my high spot. I'm gonna say my high spot's Neville.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
he
there's nothing
lost.
wrong with that. Just because he lost, he still looked amazing.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Yeah, he lost. Yeah, it was a match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which in a kayfabe sense, like those should be the most crushing losses because of how few and far between they are.
Right.
But he looked so good, and there were two occasions where I thought they were going to go with that upset. I got, not that I ever was pulled out, but I was totally invested in Neville, and I feel like everybody else was too, which I think makes his feud with Stardust of ill consequence. It really does, because when you take the world champion to the limit, it says, you know what? I can forgive this feud with Stardust, but now it really makes me eager for the aftermath because I want to see that again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Neville's my high spot because whatever naysayers were standing up and whatever criticisms were coming his way, he just completely and utterly deflected with that performance tonight. So, he's my high spot.
All right. I dig that. I dig that quite a bit. My high spot, you know what? Again, kind of like yours, a little bit unconventional. My high spot's Cesaro.
I like that.
I mean, he comes out in the suit. He gets the big pop. He has very well delivered lines in Miz TV. He has, there were no like disconnect moments where like he botched a word or he said something wrong. He rips his shirt off and gets a huge pop from all the women in the crowd. And yeah, I think he did really well for himself tonight. And I think that he is on the upswing. And because of that, and the fact that he did more to help himself tonight than Kevin Owens did, really, because Kevin Owens pretty much just said the same thing he always does, I definitely have to give some credit to Cesaro. So even though he didn't have a match, I still want to give him some credit. And yeah, he's my high spot.
Yeah, I love it. So moving right along to Raw request.
You've
I
been
mean, I,
planning this thing since the beginning.
yeah, I have. My Raw request is keep having matches the likes of Neville versus Seth Rollins because here's the thing. I will readily concede that John Cena as US champion was one of the best things to happen in the mid card since, well, practically ever. Like
Yeah.
his US Open challenges have been the highlight of the past several months, that the past several Raws, really, to put it that way. But here's the thing. The US Championship, even though John Cena is certainly elevating it, that's not the point I'm trying to argue. It is still in that mid card tier. I like when mid carders completely step out of their tier and challenge somebody because WWE is a hierarchy, or at least they want you to believe as such. When mid carders challenge their hierarchical position and they tell a guy like Seth Rollins, I can beat you, in which case, Neville did that by walking down to the ring and accepting the challenge. I love moments like that, and I feel like it does such a service to the performers because Neville went from people saying, "Oh, this guy's so good, but he's feuding with Stardust." Well, now you just got to watch him put on a clinic with the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Yep.
We talked about Cody Rhodes. Imagine if Cody Rhodes, when he goes back to Cody Rhodes, maybe he, I don't know, mentions his dad or something, and he says, "I'm going to do the Rhodes family proud," just as an
No, you know
example.
what? No, I don't. I don't want Cody to ever bring up his father unless it's these cute little throw out like kind of shout outs to his dad in these promos that he's been doing where he just kind of quotes him. I don't want him to ever just directly be like, this goes out to my father, or I'm dedicating this to my father, or going to do the Rhodes family name proud or anything like that, because I feel like that would be below him.
And that's fair enough. The point I'm trying to make though is fine. Say we don't do that. Say we just have a pure babyface Cody Rhodes though says, I know I have the ability to be great from this point on. You're going to see Cody Rhodes, take it to the next level. Maybe have Seth Rollins come out and just completely verbally down-dress him. Say you're a joke. You've always been a joke. I mean, first you were, so into yourself giving grooming tips. Then you wore a plastic mask because you were traumatized. Then you just go into space and you're this cosmonaut or whatever. What even are you? I'll tell you what you are. You're a joke, and you just have him like verbally eviscerate him. Then you let him have a match, and it could be a non-title match in the main event. Have Cody Rhodes win. What a freaking pop that would be. Because he doesn't even have to mention his dad for the crowd to really get behind him because he is a Rhodes. And, just all that stuff. And he doesn't even really need his father, to be honest, because he's so damn good at what he does anyway. So you have him beat Seth Rollins after he gets verbally down, does great things. And again, doesn't even have to lose the championship. Moments like that are some of the best television that WWE can produce, and I got a taste of that with Neville's and Rollins, and I want more. I want more. So that is my Raw request. Don't be afraid to do that, especially when, and let me just add this too, and then we'll hear your Raw request, especially when mid-carders like Neville are in lower tier feuds at the time, like he is with Stardust, because it does such great things for their profile.
Yeah.
So that's my Raw request.
My Raw request is, if you want this Divas Revolution to be a thing, start writing them like human beings.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to add to that. Just stop writing women on your show as these cardboard cutout, they're bitches all the time, except for the every now and then when they decide to be friendly. They need to have a consistent character. You would never see Sheamus brogue kick a good guy and then go in and verbally, as you were saying, down-dress a bad guy. He doesn't. That's not how the men are written in the WWE, and that's not how the women should be written in the WWE. So write the women as if they were actual people rather than just kind of these sort of stereotypical images of how Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn see all women to be.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Ashton, because I don't want this to become, on my part, I mean, a full-blown...
What does it say about Vince's view of his own wife that this is how he sees all women?
I know, right?
What does it say about the way that he looks at Linda when you see, like, Nikki Bella out there doing this, cheating with her sister, doing the old switcheroo thing, and then turning around and being like, "Oh, we love competition. We're so good people. We really just want to see everybody step up." And like, that's how Vince McMahon sees women. That's his idea of what a typical woman is. They have these like constant mood swings. They can't decide who they really are, and that's how Vince McMahon sees. I feel bad for Linda, and I kind of feel bad for Stephanie and her 3 daughters.
Well, I mean, not to stir the pot here or stoke the flames, but I've always kind of felt that Vince hasn't really had a high opinion of women when he writes himself into storylines where he makes out with the divas while he's married and has a daughter.
Yeah.
And like
yeah.
Shane even said on one documentary, I don't know if it was like a McMahon family kind of DVD set, but Shane would always say, "Well, Dad, you can write yourself into the storyline, you can write yourself out of the storyline." Like his kids said flat out, we didn't like it. We never liked it when he did that crap. And looking back on it, I don't either. Because, when you get older, obviously you establish a set of values and everything. And yeah, I'm like, yeah, Vince, that's it's pretty scummy. But yeah, I was even getting ready to say, and I guess I kind of did anyway, I didn't want this to become a full-blown monologue on my part about gender equality and sexism and all that. But, I mean, it really does show you what a long way we still have to go. Because, yeah, they're getting more time. Yeah, they're getting more matches on a Raw card, which is fantastic, especially given the women that are working those matches. But that effort in the writing itself still needs to come.
Yep.
It still needs to come, and it's not there yet.
It's so only a halfway revolution because, the in-ring is only half of what goes into the wrestling.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I'm so glad you brought that up. Excellent Raw request. I will affix my signature to that quite readily, which only leaves us with one segment left. 30-second hot seat. See, I was preemptive thinking I'm only going to have 1 second left on the clock to answer whatever question you have prepared for me tonight. So what is it? What do you got?
You really want me to give you a 29-second question, John?
Well, it'll probably take me 29 seconds to answer, so let's see what you got waiting for me.
All right. This is, I think, like the third week in a row where I can actually give you a question related to SummerSlam. So I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I'm gonna say, do you think John Cena will be healthy by SummerSlam to answer Seth Rollins' challenge? If so, do you think there will be a definitive winner, and who will it be? And if not, who do you think Seth Rollins will face at SummerSlam? You have 30 seconds, and your time starts now.
I do believe John Cena will be there at SummerSlam. I do believe there will be a definitive winner, and to the unpopular opinion of, I'm sure, many, I do actually think that John Cena is going to nab his 16th world title reign and unify the United States Championship and the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, therefore completing his mission, or I should say thereby completing his mission, of raising the profile of the U.S. title while he's holding it in tandem with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
So you don't think Sheamus is cashing in?
Not yet. I don't think yet. And then it's going to wait a little bit longer. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I respect your opinion. I don't necessarily disagree, but hey, or I don't necessarily agree, I should say. But
right.
You know,
can I just tack on one more thing though to that 30-second hot seat before we go off the air?
Yeah, sure.
Again, kind of continuing on that unpopular opinion, I'm going to be honest, and you know I'm a big Seth Rollins fan. I would be cool with John Cena winning the World Championship again. I feel like his work in 2015 has been so stellar that if I was ever ready for John Cena to be the man again, it would be now. I'm not saying I do think that's going to happen in the moment. We have a few weeks left to change my mind, but I'll tell you this right now. If it does happen, no sour grapes for me. And I think that's the biggest compliment I could give to John Cena's work this year because he has been so on point. And I do give a lot of that credit too to the guys he's been working with. But the guy is, he's getting up there in age and he's still putting on matches like this. If this would be like his final run, his final big thing that he does, unifying these titles and tying Ric Flair, I'm personally cool with it. So just want to put that out there.
I guess here's my thing. I think that one of two things is going to happen if Cena is healthy, which I don't know. I think they could be working us with some of the numbers that I've been hearing because I've heard he might be out till September. Or you never know if he is. They might have to try and find something else for Rollins to do. Maybe Rollins Cesaro. That would be incredible. But as far as what we know, just assuming Cena is back and healthy, I think that it's probably safe to assume that there is not going to be a definitive finish because I just don't see them unifying those titles. I don't think it makes any sense in the world for them to want to unify the U.S. and WWE World Heavyweight Championships when they literally just unified the WWE and the World Championships at the end of 2013. That just doesn't make any sense to me at all. So I would think that either A, they are going to have no finish and Rollins is going to retain and Cena's going to retain, or B, Cena wins only to be cashed in on by Sheamus and therefore Cena's still the U.S. title champion, but now Sheamus is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
And I think the only thing that kind of gives, credence to your point, I should say two things. A, your point about just the recent consolidation of both of those world titles into one. Not so sure about Sheamus' cash-in. My other thing would be, Night of Champions is the month after. And I just think it would be a little weird, admittedly, to see Cena compete twice on the card.
Yeah.
Not that it's unheard of. I mean, Ziggler competed twice, a lot during a certain period in his career when he was U.S. champion. But, yeah, I can't really envision Cena doing it for whatever reason. So I can definitely see your argument there. I just feel like he's been on such a tear this year that if it was ever going to happen, you guys might as well brace yourselves for it to happen now. Because I just feel like this would be the time to do it. So, yeah, right now I really am feeling John Cena as a dual champion. So we'll see if it happens.
Yeah, I can definitely. I mean, I'm not saying that I would prefer it, but I can definitely understand where you're going with that and your logic.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that said, do you have anything else you want to say about this Raw?
No, sir.
All right, guys. Well, this has been Raw. This has been TwitWow, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. What did you think of tonight's Raw? What did you think of the promo from Seth Rollins? What did you think of the whole Owens-Cesaro confrontation? Did Heyman sell you on SummerSlam? What were your favorite moments from Raw? Be sure to take the conversation over to Pwitov, an amazing pro wrestling group on Facebook, some of the most passionate wrestling fans you'll ever meet. However, if you are a minimalist, if you prefer to keep your discussions maybe, to 2 or 3 people at a time or whatever, Ashton's got you covered. He has made a TwitWow subreddit. There you can not only find all of our TwitWow content, but you can also create threads of your own dealing with all things pro wrestling to pose to him or I or both of us or whatever your heart desires. And we will see you again for G1 Climax Day 10. Gonna be amazing. Ashton, do you know off the top of your head any tournament matches we're gonna have? Do we know? Wait, isn't Okada facing Anderson or no? Or is that down the line?
Yes.
Yeah, Okada, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, is facing the Machine Gun, Carl Anderson. Guys, that is going to be an epic tournament bout. Be sure to tune in with us. Your best coverage for English commentary of the G1 Climax, Day 10. Nothing else really beside that. That's the big thing to what I was producing tomorrow. So until then, guys, tune in and peace out.